So today for art time, for Little Blessings Online, I thought we could do a little bit of baking. Fairly easy, fairly straightforward, I hope, and it's one that my family really loves. So I've pre-weighed some self-raising flour. There's 400 grams of that, which I've sieved a few times. We've got 200 grams of caster sugar there. We've got 200 grams of butter. We've got some chocolate chips, which I'm going to try for the first time today. And we have some golden syrup. We've got my big bowl for mixing later. And we've got my mixer. Makes it all easy. So, this is what we have to do. First of all, we put in here the caster sugar. And we put the butter. There we go. And those can go to one side. And the next thing we have to do is to mix this up with this, which is very noisy. So we'll turn the microphones off for just a minute when we do this. And this is what I love about this recipe. You kind of throw it all together really. It's not particularly complicated. So we've got our sugar and we've got our butter. That's all good. The next thing we're going to do is add our flour, and then we're going to mix it up a little bit more. We've got some chocolate chips and we've got some golden syrup because it makes it all yummy. So in goes the flour. This is my sort of recipe. In goes the chocolate chips in a bit. So we're going to mix this together first before we add the golden syrup. That's starting to be quite nice. It's not sticking together yet, but that's what the golden syrup does. So, next thing I'm going to do, chuck in those, get rid of this, over there, and then I'm going to add the golden syrup, and this is what makes this a really amazing thing. Of course, we've washed our hands before we begin, because that's really sensible. And there we go, that's the golden syrup gone in. And then the next thing to do is to mix all this together, which is great because it's nice and messy. And it's really important you use your hands because it warms up the butter, it warms up the flour, and it helps it all stick together. And what we're trying to do is get one big ball of this stuff in the bowl, which is really cool. I like this because I can get really messy. I'll just keep mixing and mixing. It's starting to come together now. Again, you need to use your hands for this bit because the warmth of your hands, or little hands or bigger hands, means that you can get it all together. And then what we're going to do is make little balls, stick it on a sheet of paper, on a tray in an oven, which is at 160 degrees. And we're going to bake it for about 10 to 12 minutes. And then hopefully we'll have some amazing chocolate chip yummy biscuits. And this recipe I found ages ago that someone gave to me, which is really cool, and we enjoy making these things. Right, I think that's done. So I'm going to go and get some baking sheets made up, and then we're going to do the really exciting part of putting it on a tray. So this is ready to go. We've got a baking tray. We've got two of these actually because this is double the quantity. If you've only got one tray, do half the ingredients. We've got 5 people in our house, so this doesn't last long. Joe particularly likes these. So here we go. This is what you do. You take a little bit of this, roll it into a ball in your hand, not very big. What's that, about 4 centimeters across? And what you do is you pinch it or push it onto the tray like that. It holds it in place. Another little bit more. These will expand more than you think. So I put 12 on a tray. Don't have to make it pretty, as long as it's basically a little ball. That's a bit too much. It's fine. There we go. I'm going to put 4 on that. 12 on a tray makes about 24 of these biscuits. Push it down onto the tray, and we'll keep doing this until we fill the tray. So again, a little ball. Roll it. If it's not rolling very well, give it a bit of a squish. Splat it. And there you go. And these will go in the oven. I only put 1 tray in at a time because if I put it on 2 trays it doesn't work very well. I have discovered. So, that one doesn't want to roll. Right, there we go. Splat it down. The great thing is you can get a bit messy. They taste great. And even if they don't come out very round, they're still going to taste good. And that's all really that matters. Try and make these about the same size. And if you get it wrong, you just pick it up, splat it and do it again. So there's our first tray. I'm going to put that in the oven. I'm going to get my other tray ready to go. And then after 10 or 12 minutes, when these have gone nice and golden brown, they'll spread and they'll rise up a little bit. And we'll take them out of the oven, stick them on a cooling rack, and we're good to go. So these biscuits actually took nearer to 20 minutes, probably because I made them a bit larger than you're supposed to. It takes it a bit longer when it's a bit bigger. So I'm going to leave these to cool down. I'm going to transfer them onto this cooling rack. If you haven't got one, leave them in, it just takes a little bit longer. And then they're going to cool down and we'll stick them into tubs and then we will eat them. So that's these amazing biscuits that we've just made, which are really cool. I hope you have some fun making them. Be careful with the oven, obviously, hot, do not touch. I'm going to transfer these now. They're still quite soft. I'm being very, very delicate because if I bend them, they'll break. So we're being very careful because they're very, very soft. Make sure you keep your hands nice and clean, you don't burn yourself on the tray. I've done that a few times. And there we go. Bring this along a little bit. So there's our yummy biscuits. 10 minutes on the tray to cool and they'll be good to go with a cup of tea or a glass of milk. Hope you have fun making these. If you want to send us photos of what you've done, that'd be fantastic. I've just put my second batch in, so in 20 minutes I'll have twice the amount.